Folks, welcome to Board Game Breakfast. I am so glad to see you guys again this week. Thank you for those of you who sent kind thoughts to me as I traveled out to the middle, or actually the far west of Nebraska to see my parents. So that was a good trip for me, but as you notice, we still were able to get up a lot of videos and things last week. Of course, if you're wondering exactly what we review each week, check out the companion video that goes up with Board Game Breakfast each week called Week in Review, where we talk about, you know, all the different reviews we did, kind of give you quick snippets of that. But anyhow, it is another week. So what's going on now? We're coming off the Gamma Trade Show. We got some other minor conventions. We'll be going to Cool Mini or Not, or CMON convention in May, and just different things that we'll be doing as time goes by. But this is kind of like a break here, a lull before the big conventions come up in June, where we're going to UK Gaming Expo and Origins, and then Dice Tower Con, and then Gen Con. So there's like 4 conventions back to back. But we got some breaks, so we're going to try to get a lot of games played and reviewed. We have piles of them to do so. We're going to be back on live Q&A. I'm going to try to do a live Q&A right here later on today. Just watch our YouTube channel for when it's scheduled, but it'll be sometime today. So maybe you'll see some other people on the live Q&As as we go on, as we're getting set up here at the Dice Tower Studios. All right, well, that being said, let's get to the news. Okay, so in the news this week, Smirk and Dagger has talked about another expansion for Cutthroat Caverns. It's been a while since they've done one. This one here is called Death Incarnate, and it actually includes Death as one of the enemies, as well as the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse. Kurt Covert told me that this is, he thinks, the best expansion that they've done for the game thus far. So I'm pretty excited. It's been a while since I've seen some stuff for Cutthroat Caverns, so we'll see. Big news, of course, Scythe has a new expansion announced, Wind Gambit. This has 2 modules in it. One is airships with a plastic airship for each of the different factions. At the beginning of the game, you'll draw a couple cards that will show how these ships work in that particular game. And the other module is Resolution Module. This is basically something that will make the end of the game, kind of change a rule of the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing both of those. They're thinking Q4 this year at Essen Fair, maybe. Diplomacy, the very first copy of Diplomacy ever is up on eBay from the designer's first print run of 500. This is number 1. It's kind of a neat thing to own at the time of me recording this. It's 1,500. It's probably higher than that now. I just thought that was interesting. WizKids is going to be producing unpainted versions of the Attack Wing ships, the Star Trek Attack Wing. So if you don't like the paint job on them, which is fairly understandable, and you want to paint them yourselves, this is the way to do that. Hasbro in 2016 had a fall gaming challenge. They've announced the winner of that game. It's called Cloud Control. This is a game where you're taking clouds and moving around to make pictures. Not really that brilliant of an idea, because other games have already done this, at least 3 that I can think of, where you're using cards, one from GameRight. But I do like the name Cloud Control, and this is, you know, this one's been endorsed by Hasbro, so anyway. North Star Games has announced their next Evolution game. This is Evolution Oceans. This is a standalone / expansion to the other ones, and this one's going to take place in the oceans with giant creatures, you know, like whales and things and predators. So that would be interesting. Well, we're not going to see that probably till 2018. Yellow has announced some upcoming games, including one I thought was pretty cool, The Legend of the Cherry Tree. Or it has an even longer name, but they're going to shorten it. But this is a push your luck style game, and of course, like all Yellow games, it's beautiful. Games Workshop has teased some more details of an upcoming game called Warhammer Underworld's Shade Spain. I don't know a lot about this game, but from looking at it, reading about it, it's a short tactical game. It's not as grandiose as, you know, many of the Warhammer and Warhammer 40K are big, giant games. This is a small one, maybe not so small as Mordheim and Necromunda. Anyway, I'm not sure, but they were showing off at Adepticon, and it was taking 45 minutes, so that's cool. Everything Epic, who has done different games like Secrets of the Lost Tomb, is making a miniatures version of Big Trouble in Little China. It's a miniature board game version. Not sure exactly. I'm sure we'll find out as time goes by. Didn't know Big Trouble in Little China warranted 2 different games about it, but there you go. And I'm sure fans of the game will be very pleased. And from Mayfair, or Twilight Creations, under Mayfair, we have Zombie, the 15th version of it. Another one bites the dust. And this one you're fighting not only the zombies, but the desert. But I think Zombies is going to beat out Carcassonne for having the most expansions. We'll have to wait and see. All right, let's move to the Kickstarter realm.
Happy breakfast, everybody! Today's projects will let you climb a mountain, build some railroads, and of course, fight a lot of battles. So let's take a look at what's happening in our crowdfunding world today. Eon's End War Eternal is the standalone sequel to the cooperative deck builder Eon's End. War Eternal features all new mages, new powers, and new enemies to battle. Indie Boards and Cards have made sure that War Eternal cards are compatible with the original Eon's End, but they've fully refreshed the graphic design of the card fronts. In Eon's End War Eternal, players are a team defending Gravehold from the Nameless and their hordes, using deck-building mechanisms to build up abilities and spells to fight off the enemy. The variable turn order system mimics the chaos of battle, and managing the deck as a team is crucial because it doesn't get shuffled. Charge up your abilities, open breaches to cast spells, and watch out for your enemies because they get stronger as you get stronger. The game has a ton of gameplay in the box because you can mix and match heroes, enemies, and available cards between games. And the card mechanisms are really designed around that teamwork and cooperative play. You can get a copy of Eon's End War Eternal for a pledge of $65, and there are also available expansions you can add on. For all of you 18XX fans, or just fans of railway games in general, 18CZ is up on Kickstarter. Designed by Leonard Orgler, the designer of Russian railroads, 18CZ has players as investors building out the first railroads in continental Europe. You'll be buying railroad shares, building route networks, and running the trains. The biggest shareholder of a railroad is the director, and cities will pay out rewards to all of the shareholders of a given line. To win, you'll just have to get rich faster than your opponents. 18XX games have a long and lauded history and are definitely heavy stock and route building games. 18CZ features a special 2-player board and rule set, and as a unique feature in this Kickstarter, you can even sign up for customized paper money. If you're an 18XX fan or interested in the genre, you can get a copy of 18CZ for a pledge of €78. Diver City is a cooperative game in which players explore a reef and seek to protect the sea life. Each team member brings a unique skill to the group, trying to fight off pollutive elements like oil rigs. Diver City features a unique diver movement system. The player minis have custom rotating bases, allowing the mini to show their surface or diving status. On the surface, divers move between tiles, refill oxygen, and deal with land-based threats. Diving players explore the reefs, discover species, and use up their oxygen. A thematic variant is that players cannot speak to each other when they're in diving mode. Diver City has different difficulty settings, and players win by saving a certain number of species, or lose through a variety of conditions, including too many hotels or losing too many species. Diver City plays up to 7 players, and you can get a copy for $49 Canadian plus shipping. Sigil combines CCG-style deck play with hex-based wargaming. Each of the fantasy armies has unique powers and abilities that leverage their own faction deck full of spells, auras, and unit control cards. While dice determine battle outcome, a unit's attributes and abilities deeply affect those roles, and while there are pre-built decks, you can certainly customize the decks within the game. And mana to play those cards is unique because mana generators are actually locations that get played to the board and can be attacked. Your warlord leads your army, but you win the game by conquering your opponent's home base or sigil. Sigil can be played 1v1, but also has defined variants like team-based or free-for-all multiplayer. You can get a copy of Sigil for a pledge of $59. In Dicey Peaks by Scott Alms, players are racing up Yeti Mountain to be the first to reach the famed red flag. With a bit of pusher luck and a bit of exploration, Dicey Peaks is played by rolling dice that are weighted for different activities. You can rest or climb. But the faster you climb, the faster your oxygen depletes. and resting helps with that, but you have to make sure to pick the most efficient time to rest. And of course, you have to watch out for yetis as you explore and avalanches as you climb. Dicey Peaks is a light and quick family weight game for some push your luck fun that includes custom dice, and you can get a copy for $26. Jousting is a rare theme in board games, and King's Champion brings it to life in this two-player game featuring worker placement and dice manipulation. Thematically, players control houses that are competing in the King's Tournament. You'll select 3 champions, outfit them with squires and equipment, and send them off to joust. King's Champion has an interesting combo of dice that determine jousting strikes and reputation, and worker placement that helps determine the dice pool. There are multi-use enhancement cards that can be played as squires or equipment, and things like favor actions, bravery tokens, and morale all offer options to manipulate the dice and mitigate the luck of the roll. King's Champion also has advanced buildings that offer even more options and up the gameplay variability. For a relatively inexpensive game, King's Champion has a lot going on, and you can get a copy for a pledge of just $23 plus shipping. Oakley dokley, that's all I've got for you this episode. Hopefully something caught your eye. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week.
Hello, Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise here. And earlier, just today, my daughter handed me a pile of penned papers that she'd been working diligently on all afternoon. Well, upon inspection, I discovered that the pages were filled with the drawings and doodles of various Pokemon characters, which is really no surprise. I mean, since recently, after discovering the game of abstract animal antagonists, Pokemon has consumed every moment of her day that's not already filled with either Minecraft or disappearing when it's her turn to do the laundry. I mean, wouldn't be a problem, except there are absolutely no clean socks in this house whatsoever. And my daughter's obviously not alone in her artistic endeavors, as a simple internet search will reveal tens, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of other homemade Pokemon pictures populating the web. And if you're like me, upon discovering this library of fan art out there, the first thought that crosses your mind is concern that you're going to have to end up wearing those electric blue flower socks that Aunt Matilda gave you 3 years ago, which you can't get rid of because you're really still not sure whether or not they were a white elephant gift, and you wouldn't have to worry about this in the first place if someone would just go out and load the washing machine like they're supposed to. Regardless, the amount of Pokemon fan art that's been produced really isn't surprising. People are inspired to create art about their favorite hobbies all the time. Books, comics, television shows, movies, or specific things like the aforementioned Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Dungeons & Dragons, and even Magic the Gathering. But board games? Is there a sect of fan art based on modern board games? Now, I'm not saying that there isn't, but if there is, I can't say I recall ever coming across any of it. I mean, after all, properties like Pokemon, D&D, and Magic the Gathering each create fantastic worlds, characters, and stories that people can reimagine, recreate, and revisit in various forms of artistic expression. But fan art depicting the medical professionals from Pandemic, code names captured in colored pencil, an oil painting depicting Twilight Struggle, or the world of Terra Mystica remade as a mural in sidewalk chalk? I'm just not sure if I see that happening. But I hope that it's out there. So I want to know, have you ever encountered board game fan art? Or better yet, created some of it? If so, let me know. And don't get cold feet, because, well, all the good socks are gone.
So what's coming out from the Dice Tower this week? Well, we're going to see we have several more of the Gamma videos that are coming out. We've been slicing up our live Gamma stuff into chunks for each company. So those are going to be coming out every day. So if you missed any of that, you can go back and check those out. Also, we'll be reviewing a pile of games. I'll be taking a look at The Captain is Dead. Sam will be reviewing Vikingdoms. I'll be talking about my favorite spy games. I'll also be doing the best of companies. This week we got a trio of big companies: Fantasy Flight Games, Rio Grande, and Simon. So a lot of cool stuff, lots of reviews from me, Sam, and Z. So take a look for all that stuff coming out this week. And of course, our podcast this week on Tuesday, tomorrow, we'll be releasing episode 500 of The Dice Tower. This was a fun episode. A lot of work went in putting this together. I hope you enjoy it. You can check that out coming out on The Dice Tower tomorrow. And of course, all our other podcasts from DicetowerNetwork.com.
Hey guys, it's lunchtime! So today, have I got something for you? So you all know I was at Gamma not too long ago, and this little game was a treat. Suzanne, and I played this game, and she kicked my butt. So, Tracy, why don't you tell us what we're talking about today?
Well, it's a game called Moons. It's designed by Robert Burke, published by Quick Simple Fun Games. Plays 2 to 6 players in about 30 to 45 minutes for ages 12 and up.
I thought it was really interesting that I played 2 to 6 in a trick-taking type game. Usually they start at 3.
Yes, and when you play 2 players, you got a lot of cards in your hand, so it's tricky to hold them all.
Exactly, but I mean it goes fairly quickly. So in this game, so it's like your average trick-taking game. You obviously want to take the trick, collect more tricks to get points at the end of the game. We have these kind of moon cards. I don't know how I can see them, but they have different planets on them, so we can collect these tokens throughout the game. We also have mini asteroid cards, and we have the large asteroid cards. Can I find one in here? I'll post a picture for you soon. So we have 2 player markers. So one is the Earth and one is the Moon. I thought this was really cool because the Moon rotates around the Earth. Ooh, so it's very thematic. I like that. So in the game, we're each going to have our hand of cards, a very large hand, but for our purposes, we'll just pick up a few. And you're going to go through cards. You want to create a tableau. In your tableau, you want to try and create a range of colors. So, for example, I'd want to put a blue, maybe kind of beigey colored one, if you like my technical terms, and then maybe a turquoise one. So we'll all reveal them. So Tracy's going to do that too. And basically, it's face down. We flip them up. Whoever has the highest number will start the first trick. So we'll lead. So give me the first trick. So in this case, it would be me. I would play a card to the table. Tracy has to follow suit.
Yes, so I would follow suit in this case.
But
if I don't have that, this is really neat. I think this is the most neat. I can actually play off suit if I don't have the suit. And if I play the lowest number of all the offsuits, basically, I will get also choose a planet. So the person who takes the trick chooses the planet. Right. But I also get to take the planet of the offsuit that I
of the card that you played. Versus in your tableau, this is why you make this, these are the planets that you have to choose from. So you play this until either these are depleted or this has rotated to all the players that are playing, and then that'll kind of trigger the end game. There are also those asteroid cards I was talking to you about. If you play an asteroid card, do you have one? Perfect. So if you were to play one, this would allow you to pick up a mini asteroid card, which either has bonus points for the end of the game or some other fun thing where you can steal from another player, but it doesn't allow you to win the trick. So it just helps you get some of those like bonus cards. So that's really the gist of the game. I find it plays really quickly. It's not as complicated as some of those other trick-taking games.
No, although when you can play these trade token is really tricky. You gotta find the right time to trade the card or trade the token to make it worthwhile.
So I brought this to work a couple times, and my colleagues were like, "Oh, we love this game." So I was surprised, and apparently people watching, they're like, "You guys are so serious." I'm like, "Well, I work for the military, so we're always serious."
It seems to be the way with trick-taking games. Anyway, every time I play a trick-taking game, I'm like,
concentration.
Super focused. I don't know what it is.
So they really enjoyed it. It's quick, it's easy, it's light. Tricky games, who doesn't love those? People get competitive though. So I think that's it. We covered it. We like it?
We do. I like it thematically and trick-taking game, really.
I think it's good. It has some nice flavor text, and I love the matte box. I know people are going to laugh at me for that, but I really like it. It's great for filming. Okay, so that's it for now, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
We've been talking here at Dice Tower. One of their stretch goals for our Indiegogo fundraising campaign this year was to get the Dice Tower studios. And we were able to do that. We've rented out a place and we are slowly putting it together. Now I'm going to ask that you guys be patient with us as we learn and get things together. This room is almost finished. You can see here we got the game shelves done. We did a few changes there. And so as time goes by, we're working on our main studio space, and we did a test run of it with a temporary backdrop for our last top 10, And you can hear that there's still some things and that we're going to be changing. We're going to be getting new chairs and new tables and things like that as time goes by. So we're going to be working. Well, you know what? Why don't we take a look at this ourselves? So I'm going to come here behind the camera and we're going to take a little bit of a tour. Now realize everything here is under construction. So let's get this camera out. And here we go. So first of all, we're in one of the back rooms here. This is a studio. You can see we got some sound stuff there on the walls and light. Let me actually spin over here. You can see the different light setup. So not everything is completely done. There's hat changes. And then of course, all the shelves full of games. So this is this room here. And a lot of people have been talking about saying, hey, there's a window back there, but don't worry, we've closed that window from the outside, so it's okay. But anyhow, we'll go out here. And this is, of course, the middle of the day. Here you can see our sound stuff. We were using this because we were recording some videos lately. And out here, oh, the lighting you can see is going to change just because we've moved into here. The guys, we just built some new chairs, and so they're putting the boxes down. This is this is where our main studio is going to be. We got some lights and some sound things, but we're going to be doing a lot more work in here. It's going to be actually facing this direction. You can see so far we put up a television. And then over here is we're going to be doing live game playthroughs. You can see some new games have shown up. We're going to be working on opening those up. Sam has Games Workshop stuff everywhere. And tools over here where Derek is texting. You can see that we have, man, this lighting here is really throwing me off, but you can see that we have, these are all the games that we're going to be reviewing soon. So there's lots of different games. When I say soon, of course, there's a lot of different ones to talk about. And so there's games here. Here's another one of the cameras. And then we have a kitchen area, which is, well, for lunchtime. And then over here is the editing bay. And this is where the guys are working and preparing all the different videos that we're going to be doing. And then all the way over here, through the curtains, we have our storeroom. So this room is where we're keeping things and different, you know, all the different things that we need are in these drawers. And of course, for tablets and things like that, and apparently foam. I guess we could use that for sound dampening. And then this here is my office, which I'm still working on. So you can see I'm working there. And here are games that I'm going to be reviewing soon, or just different things that I'm working on. And I'm starting to decorate, but there's still more work to be done. So this is kind of a, again, everything is under construction. I ask that you give us some time and patience as we slowly get all this stuff together. We don't want to shut down recording for months. So we're doing this as we're recording, but hopefully you'll see some changes and improvements in the Dice Tower as time goes by. All right, let's take a look at what's on the shelf here again. So we have two shelves. This one here has Sheriff of Nottingham, which is one of my favorite games. Of course, it's in the Dice Tower Essentials line. Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, which I wish wasn't the Dice Tower Essentials line. Great games, both of them. Very much fit the same kind of category where you're trying to lie and fool other people. Baseball Highlights 2045 is a fun deck building / baseball game I like. And this game, one of the questions I always get asked, what is it? It's Carcassonne the City. Actually, now it comes not in a wooden box, but I had it in a wooden box. And then we have this. So I keep different things in these. And this particular one has lots of terrain for Heroscape. You can see all the different, the ice and the swamp. This one is full of water tiles and such. And so it's an easy way to keep that stuff right there. Well, that's what's on the shelf this week.
Hello, my name's Dan, and this is my little princess, Cora.
I'm not a princess!
She's not a princess. She's a little adorable, cute princess. And today we're here to talk to you about this game. What is it, Cora?
The Enchanted Tower.
The Enchanted Tower. In the Enchanted Tower, one person plays an evil sorcerer who's captured a princess and locked her in a tower. And the others are Robin, a brave adventurer trying to rescue her. The game starts by the sorcerer hiding a key under one of the 16 spaces on the game board. Then it's a race for Robin to try and find that key before the sorcerer can reach it. As soon as either the sorcerer or Robin land on a space hiding the key, then a little magnet in the base of the pawn will pick it up and there'll be a gorgeous clicking sound as the two jump together. Whoever finds the key first gets to try the key in one of the 6 locks on the tower. If they get the right one, then the princess pops up out of the tower and that player wins. If not, then the sorcerer hides the key again and everyone moves back to their starting locations. Neither Cora or I are massively keen on the stereotypical princess in peril trope that this game uses. However, the fact that both the sorcerer and the hero Robin are fairly genderless somewhat makes up for that. Somewhat. So Cora, did you like the Enchanted Tower?
Yeah.
Why do you like it?
I like how they made the key. They could make the key.
Yeah?
And I like the magnet.
Yeah, the magnets are cool. As I said many times before, any game with a magnet is awesome.
And I like how that is made.
You like the covering?
Yeah.
You like the picture?
Yeah.
It is a nice picture actually. Do you know what else I like about it?
What?
I like when you put the key in the thing and the princess pops up like that. That's cool. That's cool. So we give the Enchanted Tower 2 magical wizard thumbs up.
So it's time to show off a few more of these dice towers. These are from E-Raptor. Last time I showed you the 2 T-Rex ones. Now we're going to show the Raptor one and the anyway, this one with the horns. Now you'll notice I built these both 2 different ways because I was very curious if I wanted it with the shinier side on the outside or if I wanted it with the printed side on the outside. And now that I've done it, definitely I want the side with the printed on the outside because even though the shiny one looks really good, if you notice it also reflects everything. But they both work really well. You take some dice, you drop it in the head, it goes down and around and comes out the bottom. The Raptor one also falls in the head like this. Now again, the negative thing about these is that they take up more table space maybe than a typical dice tower. But again, that's counteracted by the fact that they are so cool.
Hey everyone out there, Mikhail here for Snakes and Lattes. Once upon a time we had a show called Improv Gamer, where we looked at a bunch of games that you could play without any components at hand. We're back. This time around, we're called Games Without Games, and this week we're going to be looking at Dead Last. Dead Last is not a social deduction game like The Resistance or Good Cop, Bad Cop or Secret Hitler. It's a social collusion game in which one and only one player will win. In order to be that player, you'll need to make some temporary alliances with the other people at the table. But there's only one winner, the Master Tontiner. Dead Last is a game best experienced with 6 to 12 players. In order to play, you'll need 1 die and a way to keep track of score. Somebody's phone will do. Have all of the players sit in a rough circle at the table. Make sure that everyone at the table can point to every other player. Once all the players have had a chance to talk, all players will raise one of their hands, and at the count of 3, everyone is going to point at the player who they wish to take out. If you're the player at the table with the majority of fingers pointed at you, you're dead. In the event of a tie, all tied players will be the majority, and therefore all of them will die. Also, if you voted for anyone who is not the majority player or players, you die as well. If you believe that you are going to be the targeted player, you can protect yourself by putting a hand over your chest. If you are indeed the player who is a majority target, then you get to turn the tables on your opponents and kill one of the people who voted for you. However, if you are not the majority player and you've chosen to ambush, you accidentally shoot yourself and you're dead. The round will continue until there's a sole surviving player, in which case that player is going to get all 4 die rolls to themselves. They're going to roll the die 4 times and note their result each time. If there are 2 surviving players at the table, then we come to the final showdown. If both players put up a thumbs up, then that's an even share. However, there's no honor among thieves. And if one player puts a closed fist up while the other player puts up their thumb, the closed fist player is going to steal all of the die rolls. The safe bet is pinky up. No matter what the other player plays, you get 1 roll. If both players get greedy and put up a closed fist, then both of them, for their greed, get nothing. And all of the other players at the table are going to get 3 points. The goal of the box version of Dead Last is to get to 25 points worth of gold before any other player does. If you see this at your friendly local game store, or even on snakesandlattes.com, consider picking it up. Because even though you can play a version of this game without any components save the die, the box version is so much better. The art is great, the cards are amazing, and the rulebook is actually fairly funnily written. This has been Mikhail for Games Without Games and Snakes and Lattes. Have a good day.
Hey, it's another board game breakfast for you. As you can see, I'm standing here at home now. Room has been changed dramatically. Now that I'm gone, there's still some of my decorations and things are here at home. But this is our game collection that we're keeping. These are the games I'm keeping at home for myself and the kids. Things that we'll play together as a family. With, of course, other toys. And Princess has taken over. Still have my dice and stuff here that will probably be moving over eventually. I still have my workstation here at home where I work at the office. These are games we're currently playing. And Melody is still around. But anyhow, that is it for this time, folks. So until next time, have a fantastic week. I also like to put out the call. I'm looking for more contributors to the show, to both Board Game Breakfast and Board Game Blender and Throw Punch Lunch. If you're interested in doing that, certainly email us and let us know. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Bassel, and this has been Board Game Breakfast.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vassell and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production. Sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., an amazing place to buy board games. Cool stuff in stock at coolstuffinc.com.